Hey guys, Joe here, Joe's RV Tech DIY. We're working on a Suburban RP35Q. This is a Suburban furnace core. I'm gonna show you where we're just gonna remove the burner cover, which also has the propane line hooked up to it. You'll need some special tools. You can use a crow's foot if you have it, but I've just made my own little 5/8 wrench here that I use. And then I put, you guys won't be able to, I don't know if you guys can see what I'm doing here, but I'm gonna just put this wrench on it here and pop it loose. And we'll go ahead and loosen it the rest of the way. And what we're gonna do in this video is we're gonna show you the burner. This unit, I think, is about 2 years old. It hasn't been used very much, but for some reason it's not igniting anymore. We're just going to take it apart, show you the process here. So we want to unhook this from the actual regulator itself, and it looks like we've got that done now. And then you take a screwdriver and remove all these screws and the top plate here. I don't use a drill personally. Some techs might, but I don't like to because you can have issues. So we dropped the screw there, and we just dropped it down by the burner wheel, or the motor wheel, squirrel cage. We'll get that out with a magnet later, but let's just continue on here. When you remove these burner covers, you need to replace the gasket as well. And here's the gasket. Here's part number 525031. I'll put a link in the description where you guys can get these, as well as the burner. We stock a lot of them because anytime we take this off, we replace the gasket. It doesn't matter if the gasket is a day old, we'll still replace the gasket. So you want to practice good safety, especially if you're an RV technician doing this. It's not okay to remove this and put it back on without a new gasket, even though some people seem to think it is. I see it time and time again because a lot of times when you take this off, the gasket does that right there. As you can see, it's already broken, it's burned. This gasket is no good, you guys. It needs to be replaced when we put it back together. So you want to remove it all, clean the surface. We'll just throw it away. Never forget to put the gasket on. You'll have serious problems with potential for carbon monoxide. I don't know if you guys can see inside there. See if we can zoom in a little. We'll take the camera off of its mount here. Okay, so you can see there's a lot of carbon buildup in there already, but this here is your igniter, and it just goes through this little hole here, and it has a O-ring grommet to help keep it sealed. Then it goes out here to the front, around the front, and to the side where it would hook up to a control board that's normally there. So we have the control board off, but now the next step would be to remove the burner, and there's 5 screws total, 2 down here on the bottom, 1 here, and then 2 here. Now these 2 screws here also hold on your igniter, okay? But since we'll probably be replacing the burner on this furnace, when we remove this, we'll probably replace the igniter as well, just because they can wear out over time, and we don't want to have to take the furnace out in another 6 months just because the igniter stopped working. But as you can see, it took me 4 minutes to remove the cover. So that will give you access to the burner. What does the burner look like when it's removed, you ask? Let's show you. This is a burner that's been removed. So we did replace this burner. Some people won't, but if you look at this burner, you can tell that the furnace was stalled vertically by the burn marks, or at least I can. Now your average person isn't going to be able to, but you know, your average person honestly isn't going to change the burner on their furnace. But if you don't have the option to hire a mobile RV technician, you know, like you might actually do it yourself. but this video is just intended for informational purposes only. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and remove the burner so you guys can see the process. So we're going to remove one of the screws here, and you want to try to use a magnetic tip screwdriver if you can. And your screws, when you remove them, keep them separate from the screws on the cover. Like the screws you take out of the burner, make sure you reuse those same screws. So now we're going to take one of the screws off of the igniter here, and we're going to take the other one. So far that's 3. This one's pretty tight. Okay, and now we're going to take 2 on the bottom, and this one was a little loose already, so that's interesting, and so was that one. They did not tighten them enough. So now that we have the screws out, still a little bit grabby there. Okay, so there's the igniter. I don't know if you guys can see that there in the video. The 2 screws are still in it. We're gonna grab each one individually and set them down separate, like I said, so you know that, hey, these are the screws for the igniter. So now we can remove the actual burner. Okay, and this is probably our problem right here. The burner is pretty well shot, as you guys can see. It needs to be replaced. It is full of gunk and carbon, everything. So now what we'll do is we'll take the screws from the burner and set them aside as well. Just keep dropping screws where they don't go. All right, now we're gonna take this and I'm gonna dump it and see how much carbon coming out of it so you guys can see. Not much, but yeah, some big chunks are coming out of it. But when you look at the burner itself, like, it's not in very good condition. It's in pretty poor shape. So this furnace also was installed vertically. So we'll get a new burner for this furnace, and we'll put a new igniter and a new gasket, and we will make another video installing the burner and the new igniter and the gasket for you guys, so that people can better understand how this process actually works. Unfortunately, we're in the peak of furnace season right now, guys. I do not have a furnace burner handy at the moment, and I'm not going to put a used one back in. Even if a customer can't afford the $40 that we charge to replace a burner on a furnace, that's what the parts charge is. We will do it anyways, and we will just tell the customer, hey, look, you know, it's on us. We had your furnace out already. We don't want to have to pull it back out in 6 months, and we don't want you to have another bill, you know, because when you are hiring a mobile RV technician to come out and work on your RV, it can be expensive, especially if they have to make one trip and then a few months later they're making another trip for the same thing. So when we put this furnace back in your RV, even if it's out of warranty, we guarantee our work for a year. So that means that the burner, the igniter, or the sail switch, or the control board on this one, because that's what we're replacing, basically rebuilding this whole furnace, fails, we'll come out, remove the furnace, and we will replace everything that needs to be replaced again at no charge to our customers. That's what we do at Cannon's RV Repair. None of our competitors are offering that level of warranty, and we take pride in working on these units. And you know, Suburban has gone out of their way to make them affordable for people. So if we do have to replace your furnace entirely, we will tell you why, and whether it's a matter of safety or just because it's being too old, or maybe the exhaust manifold has an issue. There's usually a pretty big reason. If like we were to need to replace the blower wheel, the motor, the burner, the igniter, the sail switch, now it's time to just replace the actual furnace because it's more cost effective, and we don't try to make our money on selling the part. we make our money on the labor of removing and installing the part. So be careful when you hire mobile RV technicians that you're getting a fair deal. As to what you might pay, I can't say for other RV repair shops, but it really just depends on the furnace itself. You can buy a replacement Suburban furnace core online on Amazon for like $595, I believe. And sometimes they're like 400 and some change. But don't hold me to that, because this video will age and get older, and some of those replacement core furnaces might be more money. Now, a replacement core does not come with the case, and it actually is a different unit than if you were to buy a complete Suburban unit. It has a different motor in it, and it actually comes with the metal case. And you know, the motor that comes in these Suburban replacement cores is good, but in my opinion, it's not as efficient as the brand new unit if you buy the whole thing. And if you're replacing a 42,000 BTU RV furnace for a Suburban, the replacement core only goes up to 35,000 BTUs, but it is comparable, and that is why Suburban allows you to replace a SF42 with a 35,000 BTU Suburban core replacement. On Suburban's website, they have a chart of, you can look and see which furnace you need based on the model you currently have already. So that being said, I will post a link to that as well down in the description. I hope this video helps people better understand a little bit about what an RV technician does when he replaces the burner on a furnace. And remember, like, always use your best judgment when you're doing this. You want to make sure you have the propane turned off. You want to make sure you have the electricity unhooked. You don't want to shock yourself. Some furnaces are 120 volts on RVs back in the day, and still today. Some residential units are 120 volts, and you can get hurt really bad working on them. So you always want to take caution when working on them. And if you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to my channel and give the video a thumbs up. Comment below with any questions you might have. Check out the links for any parts you might need. And safe travels out there, and thanks for watching, guys. Until next time, have a good one.